Welcome to our class today. So we're going to be focusing on strengthening and stretching specifically for our ankle. This is going to be extra helpful for you if you have foot drop, which is any amount of ankle weakness or muscle tightness that results in you scuffing your toes as you're walking or slapping the ground or tripping over your feet. And even if you don't have those symptoms, this is still going to be a really helpful class for you to improve strength and flexibility in the appropriate places to improve your mobility and specifically your walking. So I'm going to scoot back and we'll get started. Okay, so hopefully we know this by now, but doing cardio first, increasing our heart rate first, primes our brain for neuroplasticity. So that's what we're gonna do. So for now, just go ahead and shake everything out. Just feel nice and loose, relax. And then in a second here, we're gonna start increasing our heart rate. So when you're ready, go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. And go ahead and sit up as tall as you can. Close your hands loosely, just very lightly, and start swinging your arms. So swing, swing, swing. The goal here is to get your heart rate up. So swing, maybe you go a little bit faster than what feels normal. Maybe you do more motion, more power, whatever you gotta do, but just get moving, get that heart rate up. Talking at the same time can also increase your heart rate if you're up for that challenge, but get that heart rate up. Swing, swing, swing. Keep going. We're just going to do cardio for a few minutes. There's no research yet that says exactly how many minutes of cardio you should do in order to prime your brain for neuroplasticity. So for now, we just get it up, and that's good enough for us. Once we know more, if research does come out with that number, I'll keep you posted. All right, go faster. Your fastest seconds in 3, 2, 1. Go fast for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slow it down and stop. Shake everything out. And when you're ready, get back into a good posture. Close those hands again and start punching forward. Don't worry too much about your punches. People ask me all the time, should I be punching down? Should I be punching like this? It doesn't matter. Whatever feels good for you. And if punching at this height feels uncomfortable, you can punch down towards your knees. That's just as great. Again, the goal is cardio. Just get that heart rate up. So do whatever you gotta do. Maybe go faster, maybe power, more motion. Everyone's different. Keep going. We are going to do 5 really, really, really fast seconds at the end, but for now, just keep moving. Get that body twisting a bit. You'll see my upper body is moving just a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit from side to side. That's going to wake up our core. All right, we're going to do 5 really fast seconds in 3, 2, 1, and go fast for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow it down. Oh, stop, shake everything out. I'm recovering from a cold, so I feel like this is extra cardio for me because breathing is challenging. When you're ready, we're going to do our final cardio movement, and I'm going to make it a toughie. This one, at least for me, is the most challenging. We're going to do our upper body jumping jacks. Today, we're focusing mostly on leg exercises, so let's get our arms a little bit more active before we dive into our legs. So sitting up tall, palms are facing me. You're going to come up and out as high as you can comfortably. Maybe it's all the way up. Maybe it's only halfway. Maybe it's down here and you're just doing some flutters. Anything that works for you. But go fast. The goal is cardio. This is a really tough cardio one because it requires a lot of strength too. So it is a strengthening exercise as well. If you start getting tired at all, you can just do mini ones, coming to your ears instead of overhead. Again, there's no right or wrong. Get that heart rate up. Do what works for you. Up, down, up, down. Keep going. Keep moving. My arms are already getting tired. Today was not a good day to do an arm workout this morning. All right, we're gonna go really fast in 3, 2, 1, and go fast for 5, 4, 3, woo, 2, 1. And you can stop there and shake everything out. Relax those shoulders. Your shoulders can now rest for the rest of our class today. Okay, so again, we're focusing on strengthening and stretching for our feet and ankles to reduce any amount of foot drag, foot slap, foot drop. There's so many different ways that ankle weakness and tightness can manifest, and that's what we're going to be working on today. So for our first exercise, we're going to be stretching our calf muscle, and there's two ways that you can do this. One option is standing. So if you're going to stand, I find it easiest to come over to a wall. You could even use your chair though, and you're going to step one leg back and your heel touches the floor. And then from here, you can lean forward so that you feel the stretch in your calf muscle, the back of your lower leg. So this is one option. Another option is a seated stretch. And for this one, I like to use a cane. You can use a chair or something that doesn't move. That would look like this. And this does swivel, so this isn't the best option, but I just want to show you what I'm talking about. If you can get your toes up and your heel down and your knee as straight as possible, this is also a calf stretch. So if you have an item in your house like this that you can use, or a cane, my cane is over here. So you can pick any of these options. For a cane, you're going to loop it underneath the balls of your feet. Move it this way so you can see better. Your knee is as straight as possible and you're pulling with your arms up towards you. So in all of these options, your leg, your ankle specifically, is doing no work. Your arms or the chair or the position that you're in is doing the work. So your ankle can just be fully relaxed and pull. Feel that stretch. And hold. I have really tight calf muscles. If you have tight calf muscles, that can pull your foot down. So it makes foot drop or drop foot even worse. So we're just going to start by stretching those muscles out. And keep holding. A few more seconds. And when you're ready, slowly release the stretch and switch sides. So if you're standing, alternate your legs. If you were using a firm surface, switch legs. If you're seated, other leg goes out straight. Option to put the belt, it could be a yoga strap, an actual belt, cane around the balls of your feet, and pull. And hold. Remember, your ankle should be relaxed if possible. Sometimes that's really hard to do. Just do the best that you can. I got this cane years and years ago, but I'm constantly grateful for the colors that I chose. I could customize it. And I love that it's pink because it stands out. And I love that the green at the bottom because you can see it really clearly for this stretch. I think about that every time I use it for this stretch. All right, a few more seconds here. And then when you're ready, you can release that. If again, whatever you were using, just release that so the stretch goes away. And now if you were standing, you can sit down. You're going to grab one leg, doesn't matter which one, because we'll do both. And you're going to grab your hands and pull your toes back. So you're pulling the tips of your toes towards your knee and just hold here. What this should feel like, it might feel like nothing, and that's fine. Or it might feel like a stretch somewhere on the bottom of your foot, like the arch of your foot, maybe the bottom of your toes. It's going to be different for everyone. But we're trying to stretch out our toes because our first strengthening exercise is with our toes. So hold here. These stretches can be really great ones to do throughout the day as well. Is anyone else's heart rate still up a bit from our cardio? All right, a few more seconds here, but keep this leg up. Before we switch legs, we're going to do one other stretch. If you're able to. So I have my left leg up here. So I'm going to grab my right hand and try to weave my fingers between my toes, if possible. Just get that nice separation. And then just relax my heel of my palm into my foot. So it looks a little like this. And I'm just going to do a few ankle rolls. Again, we're just trying to loosen up our toes, loosen up our ankles before we strengthen them. I have a lot of missing link members who have tightness or spasticity in their ankles, toes, knees, hips, you name it. And if they stretch first before strengthening them, they notice improved movement. So that's what we're doing here today. When you're ready, go in the other direction. Just our goal, loosen things up. No right or wrong. You might look a little bit different than what I'm doing. That's fine. All right, and when you're ready, you can just slow that down. Remove your fingers if you were able to get them in. Lower that leg. Same thing on the other leg. So grab the opposite leg. This leg should be dead weight. Pull those toes back towards you. We're just going to hang here for a bit. Hopefully you feel a little bit of a stretch, but if you don't have tight arch muscles, you might not feel anything. It doesn't mean that you're not stretching. This is a stretch, regardless of if you feel it or not, because the muscles are being extended from their normal position. That's a misconception about stretching, is people assume you have to feel it intensely in order for it to be doing something, and that's not true. Okay, hold, hold, hold. Feeling that toe stretch. And when you're ready, we're going to loop the opposite hand toes or fingers through our toes. So go ahead and try to place if you can. This is really hard. If you've never done this before, you might be experiencing your toes not even separating at all. That's okay. This is something that you can work towards. My husband has really tight toes and he can't do this at all. So that's okay. Once they're there, you're just going to roll any directions. We're going to switch directions halfway. Having mobile toes can help so much with walking and with balance. It's something that not a lot of people think about. We think about strengthening and stretching our hips and knees and even our ankles, but we don't think about our toes, and that's a really important piece of it. All right, a few more seconds here, and then we're going to rotate the opposite way. When you're ready, switch. Doesn't really matter what speed you're going, just try to make sure your foot and toes are staying relaxed and your arm and hand or fingers are doing all the work. Okay, a few more seconds. Then we're gonna put it down, remove the fingers if you did get them in there, lower that leg, shake anything out. We're gonna go into some strengthening exercises. This first one is for our toes. And if you've never done this before, you might see no movement, but I want you to keep practicing. 9 times out of 10, even with MS, if you try to do what we're about to do and you see no movement today, you might start to see improved strength and movement within even just a few days of practicing this. So just because you don't see anything today doesn't mean that you can't get those neural pathways working. So you're going to be looking down at your right foot, and what you're going to do is you're going to lift all of your toes. Your forefoot stays down. If I show you from the side, forefoot stays down, balls of your feet stay down, but your toes come up. And then you're going to do your best to lower them one by one from your pinky side down to your big side. Okay, this is our first of our 2-toe exercises. So when you're ready, looking down at your right foot, lift all the toes. And if you can, lower one by one down. Once they're all down, lift again. We're going to do 6 of these all the way up. Spread as wide as you can and lower. Up and spread, spread, spread. Get them as wide as you can and lower. We're already halfway. Up, spread wide, lower. Up, spread, lower. Up, spread, lower. One more. Let's do one more. Up and spread wide and lower. Okay, same thing on the other side. Just look over towards your other foot. Lift your toes, spread wide and lower. Ideally one by one, but that's really hard. Just do your best. Lift, spread, lower. Lift, spread, lower. So this is strengthening our toe muscles, but also the front of our ankle. And if you have weakness in the front of your ankle or the top of your foot, those are the muscles that when weak, they can cause drop foot, foot drop, foot slap, foot drag, you name it. Up, spread, down. Let's do one more. Up, spread. This side is harder for me than the other, and down. Okay, shake things out. We're done with that one. Moving on to our next toe exercise. You're going to lift just your big toe. So you're going to look down at your right leg. Try to make sure your knee isn't caving inward. You ideally want your whole leg to be staying in the same alignment. So you are going to be hinging forward, not rounding, just hinging. Look down at your foot and try your best to lift just your big toe. Pause and lower. This can take a second for your brain to kick in and understand what you're trying to do. And even then it might not kick in, but still attempt. Again, try to lift your big toe, little toes stay down. And lower. And lift. So this is still strengthening the top of our foot, obviously our big toe, the front of our ankle, and you might even see the tendons on the top of your foot be popping out. That's a good sign. It means those muscles, tendons are working. And down. Lift and down. Lift and down. Lift. Down. Two more. Lift and down. Last one. Lift and down. Look over at your other foot and same thing. Try to get that big toe up and down. And lift and down. Lift. Down. Lift. Down. Lift. Down. Lift. Down. My toes are getting sore. I'm really feeling this. Down. Two more. Lift. And down. And last one. Lift. And down. And one thing that I just noticed, if you were watching me, you may have noticed it. I noticed that my legs started falling out as I was lifting. That's not great. I had just told you I want your legs to stay in neutral alignment, not too far out, not too far in. If you ever notice that that's happening, maybe because you're trying to see better, just correct it. Bring your knee back to the position it should be in. Okay, great job. Shake everything out. If your toes need a stretch, you can stretch those. We're moving on to another ankle strengthening exercise, one of my favorites, ankle dorsiflexion. Fancy name for using the front of your ankle muscles to lift your ankle. I'm going to show you from the side. So you're going to be sitting. You can start at about 90 degrees of your hips, 90 degrees of your knees. Then straighten your knees a bit. Your feet should still be flat on the ground, but they're away from you. This is going to make the exercise easier versus if you were to try to do this here. So when you're ready, on the right side only, you're going to lift your whole foot except your heel. Your heel stays down, whole foot comes up and lower. And all the way up and lower. This is one you've probably seen us do before. It's one of my staples. I have every patient of mine with MS do this one. And lower. Try to make sure that your foot is staying flat, meaning it's not angling, it's not rolling out or in. That can make this extra challenging, but it's really important. Lift and lower. Slowly lowering down is going to be important for everyone, but if you have foot slap, meaning you can hear yourself walking, this is going to be extra important for you. And down. and up and down. Two more. Slowly up, little pause, slowly down. And one more, up and down, going right over to the other side, just looking over at the opposite foot. Try to lift, 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 and then slowly lower. Slowly lift, slowly lower. You might notice some shakiness on the way down, that's fine. Slowly lower and up and down. Slowly up and down. Now, sometimes, if this is brand new to you, you might feel other muscles kicking in. You might really feel your hip flexors right now, or maybe your quads. What that means is they are trying to overwork because you have so much weakness in your ankle that this is too challenging. So, two things. One, don't put as much effort in. Don't try to lift as high as you can, maybe only halfway, and then lower. And number two, think to yourself, relax my hip. Only use my ankle. Only use my lower leg. Let's do one more, slowly up and down. Oh, and relax. Good job. You can relax, round out, shake out if you need to stretch anything. That is totally fine. The next one that we're going to do is for our knee, because if we can bend our knee more, then we don't have to worry about our foot drop as much, because the more we bend our knee, look how much space there is between the ground and my toes. If I can only bend my knee this much, I might have more noticeable impairments from foot drop. But if I can bend my knee this much, I can clearly clear the floor without hitting it. So we want to work on bending our knee. So if you want to do this standing option, you're going to be standing up nice and tall. You can hold on to something for balance. You're going to shift all of your weight onto your right leg as you bend your left knee and then put it down. And it can stay in this kickstand where it's kind of behind you as you bend and lower. If you want to do the seated option, you're going to be sitting all the way towards the back of your chair, and you're going to pull your left knee back, 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 back as far as you can go. Keep that hold and then relax. And then bend and relax. So if you haven't already, choose which option you want to do. I'll do seated for this one, and for the next leg, I'll do standing. And when you're ready, go ahead and bend as much as you can and hold and relax. Bend, hold, relax. Bend, hold, relax. So this is strengthening our hamstring muscles, the muscles behind our knee and behind our thigh. So ideally, that's where you're feeling the muscles work the most. And relax. And bend. And relax. Bend. Relax. Two more. Bend. Relax. One more. Bend. And relax. If you are seated, you're just going to do the same thing on the other side. If you're standing, you're now going to shift your weight from the right leg over to the left. So 99% of your weight should be on this leg. The rest can be just on your kickstand, on your back leg. And when you're ready, everyone tighten your core muscles just to brace and bend and relax. Bend. And I'm really exaggerating right now. I'm trying to bend as much as I can. But for you, if you can just do this, that's perfect. Don't shoot for this huge movement if that's not possible for you right now. Don't assume that success is here. Success is the amount of effort that you're putting in. And down. And bend. Down. Bend. And I also just want to share, just in case you're feeling like, holy freaking cow, this is really challenging. This is the most challenging movement for about 95% of my missing link members, of my clients with MS. So you're not alone. This is really hard. And it's something to work on. And down, up and down. Two more. Bend, relax. Last one, bend, relax. Okay, if you're standing, you can even your weight out on both sides. Our next exercise has a seated or standing option, and it's marching. This is another one of my staples, so you've probably done this with me before. You're going to move your weight to one side as you lift your opposite leg as high as you can and down. Then move your weight to the other side and lift. So it's this weight shift march, and you're just lifting as high as you can. If you're seated, you're going to recline backwards, so, sitting back a bit. Belly muscles are tight, and you're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Okay, so choose whichever option you want to do. There's no right or wrong. I'll give you maybe 5 seconds, and then we'll get started. I'll do the seated option, but again, standing is a great option too. Everyone, tighten your belly muscles, pull your belly button in towards your spine, and lift and lower. It's totally normal to have one leg that doesn't lift as much. And again, if this is how much movement you see, great. That's perfect. Lift and down. Keep those belly muscles tight if you can. Lift and down. Keep going and down. This is strengthening our hip flexors. Similar to the bending our knee, the more we can lift our leg, the less drop foot will impact us. Now, as you're lifting, I'm going to be picky here. Try to make sure that your knee's coming straight up as well as your foot, that you're not seeing any angling where your knee falls out or maybe your foot goes out and knee falls in. We ideally want to keep this alignment where everything is in the same position. 2 more each side. Lift and down, lift and down. Oh, I said 2 more each side. Sorry, keep going. I'm getting tired. Hopefully you are too. That's a good sign. And down. Okay, now you can take a break. We have one final exercise in this series, and it's when we put everything together. And that is our single step exercise. So if you're able to, you're going to stand up. You can hold on to something for balance. Our main focus today is our strengthening and stretching, not necessarily balance. So you're going to be in a staggered stance with almost all of your weight on your front leg. And we're going to put those 3 movements that we worked on together. So you're going to bend your knee, you're going to lift your ankle, and then you're going to march and put your foot down. And then come back to the start position. So again, I'll show you. So weight is on your front leg, bend the knee, lift the toes, bring your knee up, put it down. So I call this an exaggerated single step exercise. You're putting everything together to try your best to really use each muscle group to the max. If standing is too hard for you, then the way that I like to modify this as a seated position is you're more towards the edge of one side of your chair, and you're going to just march from a backwards position. So instead of marching from here, like we just did, your leg's going to be back here, and you're going to try to lift it up. So there's more range of that march. To be honest, this might be a little more challenging than the standing option, but do what feels best for you. When you're ready, we're going to start. So all of your weight is on your front leg. Bend your knee, lift your toes, march, and down. Then back to the start position. Shift your weight forward. Bend, lift, lift, and down. Return to the start position. Bend the knee, lift the toes, lift the knee, down. This should be challenging, and if any of these movements feel the most challenging, that is a great indicator of where you might want to spend most of your time exercising. Forward, bend the knee, lift the toes, lift the knee, down, back, forward, bend, lift, lift, down. One more on this side, then we're going to switch sides. Bend the knee, lift the toes, lift the knee, down and back. Okay, switch sides. I'm going to turn this way just so you can see my leg a little bit better. Shake anything out if you need to, if you need a quick stretch. Whew, when you're ready. This takes a lot of concentration. It's not uncommon for my missing link members to say that their brain hurts after these exercises. It requires a lot of focus. Okay, when you're ready, shift your weight onto that front leg, and you're going to bend the knee, lift the toes, lift the knee, put it down, and back to the start position. Bend the knee, lift the toes, lift the knee, and down and back. Bend, lift, lift, and down. And again, just as a reminder, I'm really exaggerating. If yours looks like this, bend, lift, lift. Amazing. You don't need to look like you have as much movement as I do. Bend, lift, lift, down, and back. Bend, lift, lift, and down, and back. Bend, lift, lift. We're just focusing on really activating each of those three muscles. I mean, it's more than three muscles, but muscle groups, we could call it. Down. Two more. Bend, lift, lift, down. Keep your belly muscles engaged. Pull the belly button towards you. Last one. Bend, lift, lift, and down. And relax. Okay. Coming back. We can all sit down. And if there's any stretch that you need to do right now, you could do that stretch. So like right now, for me, the tops of my ankles are feeling really sore because we focused a lot on ankles. So like what I was just doing, that feels like a nice stretch for my ankles. If that feels good for you, you can try to get into that position or replicate this stretch that we did earlier. If you need a hamstring stretch, knee is straight and you hinge forward. So this is a great time to stretch whatever feels like it got tight from whatever we just did. You could do a second round, you could stop here, whatever feels good for your body, whatever time you have available, your energy levels. If your hips need a stretch, my favorite is the figure 4. So you can prop one leg up, sit up tall, and hinge forward. So again, just make 2-3 minutes. Doesn't need to be that long. Feeling like you're doing a stretch or multiple stretches to release any tension. A lot of people just strengthen and then go on their merry way, but our muscles work better when we release them after we've strengthened. So again, it doesn't have to be long, just a few minutes stretching some muscles that felt like they got tight for you and go from there. But great job today. I'm seeing we do have some time. If we want to do a few more of the exercises, we can repeat some of those. So I can only see 2 people. Thumbs up if you want to repeat 3 exercises. I can't see you actually. Let me come up closer. Or type in the chat if you want to repeat any, or if you feel like I'm good, we can stop here. Let me see if I can. Are there thumbs up or thumbs down? Down if you feel like I'm good to go. Oh, I see 1 thumb up, 2 thumbs up. All right, you know what we're just gonna do? We're gonna do 3 more. If you want to participate, amazing. If not, just keep stretching. We're gonna do my 3 staples. Oh, thumbs up to repeat. Awesome. So we're going to do my 3 staples. These, if you've worked with me in the missing link or in any capacity, these are the 3 I have everyone do because they're that important. So we're going to start, it's our ankle dorsiflexion, our knee bending, and our marching. So sitting up nice and tall, straighten your knees. Remember, it's a little further away from you. And you're going to go ahead and lift just the right side for now. Go ahead and lift up and then down. And a little bit different this time. Now switch to your left. So last time we did all of them on the right first, then we switched. We're going to alternate and down. Then back to the right, lift and down. And the left, lift. I personally, so one question that I get a lot is, should I do all of my exercises on the right leg and then my left? Should I alternate? Like, what's the best? And research doesn't show that one is better than the other, but personally, I always recommend that my patients that I'm working with alternate simply because it's most functional. And what I mean by that is it replicates our daily movements. If we're walking, we don't walk with just our right leg forward and then we switch for, like, we don't do right leg for many steps and then left leg. It's alternating one leg then the other. And so if we can replicate that in our exercises, your brain will be more likely to replicate that in real life situations. And down. 2 more each side. Lift and down. And lift and down. Okay, relax. If you need a stretch or a massage to the front of your ankle, take just I don't know, maybe 20 seconds here on either leg, a little bit of a break. And if I show you from the front, I'm just massaging the front of my ankle. And then I'm going to switch sides. Just light massage. We've done a lot for the top of our foot and ankle, especially if you're not used to strengthening these muscles. You might feel cramping here later in the front of your ankle. If you do, that's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. You just haven't used those in a while. It might have been a little too much. Wait for them to relax, for those muscles to relax, and then you can repeat some of these exercises again. Maybe you wouldn't repeat every single one, but some of them. Okay, the next one is our knee bending. Again, if you want to stand, we're going to alternate again this time. So last time we did just one leg and then we switched. This time we're alternating. So you're going to lean towards, shift your weight to your right leg, bend that knee, and then shift your weight to your other leg and bend. So from the side, it looks like this. Bend. If you're seated, it's going to look like this. So you're sitting towards the back of your chair. You're going to bend one side, release, other side, release. So pick your position if you haven't already. Get steady, brace your core muscles, pull that belly button in towards your spine, and pull, 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 and relax and switch sides. If you're seated, one thing that I want to point out to you, because something that I hear quite frequently is, well, I don't have a chair like you. I can't do this. Like, I don't have a space under my chair. That's okay. You can do this same exercise from a chair that doesn't have space underneath. It would look like this. And this actually can activate your muscles even more because you're pushing into something that's not moving, and it acts as resistance. So I don't want you to think that you can only do this exercise if you have a chair with space underneath. You can recline, you can scoot back, make it doable. Again, this is one of the hardest exercises for the majority of people with MS that I work with. And pull, 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 relax, pull. Keep going. I lost count, so I was going off on my tangent there. Let's do 2 more each side. One more each side. And relax. Okay, the final one is our marching one. So if you're standing, again, we're going to alternate side to side. So it's going to be a lift and lift. And I'm really exaggerating this weight shifting side to side. You'll notice I'm not just doing this. We could do that, but having our feet a little wider and shifting our weight trains our brain to shift our weight. And a lot of the times when we don't practice this, it doesn't come naturally. And a big part of walking is first being able to shift our weight forward and then it's a constant balance act of shifting our weight. So we got to practice that in our exercises. If you're seated, the hardest version is sitting up tall. So if you're up for a real challenge, sit up tall and alternate. If you're not up for a real challenge and you just want to do the exercise, you can also do it how we did the first time. You're reclining, belly is engaged, and lift. So go ahead and join me, whichever variation you want to do. March. Just lifting as high as you can. There's no right or wrong. Lift. Keep going. Looking down at your knees, making sure your knee is coming straight up towards the ceiling. It's not angling out in one way or the other way. Lift. And if you chose not to continue with these exercises, that's okay. Hopefully you're enjoying your stretches right now. Up. Up. Keep going. So you'll notice we're not adding a pause. We are, though, going slow and steady. So it's not this quick march. We're slowly lifting and slowly lowering, but we're not adding that pause in between. This time. We could, but this is our second round. Our muscles are starting to fatigue, and we're just going for good quality here. One more each side. Last one. Oh, and relax. Go ahead and sit down if you're still standing. And again, this is a great time to stretch out any of those muscles that feel like they got a little stiff from exercising. So I also want to just do a few others. So open your feet and your knees and spread your inner thighs open as you hinge forward. This is a really great stretch if you have knee kissing, when your knees, one or both knees cave inward. And as we're doing these exercises, those muscles can get tight. So we just want to try to stretch those muscles out. You can turn towards one side and really press open. Come back up towards the center so you're not leaning. Shake those hands out. And then lean forward again, pressing the inner thighs open, and then turn towards the other side. Come back to the center and come back up. If you didn't do this before, go ahead and do that figure 4 stretch. This stretches the outside of our hip muscles. You're going to sit up tall and hinge forward. Your hands are doing all the work here. This leg is dead weight. If it's too hard to get your leg up here, you can do the same stretch, just crossing it over your other ankle. So both options are available. Keep breathing. While you have your leg up here, if you're able to release one hand so that you can get yet another ankle massage in, or pulling your toes in any direction that you feel is good for you, go for it. We did a lot of ankle work today. When you're ready, you can lower that leg, either cross the other ankle or use your arms to help you lift your leg. Sit up tall and hinge forward. Again, you should ideally feel this stretch somewhere on the outer part of your hip or thigh. If you can free up a hand, you can get a little massage or some stretches. One reason why you'll always hear me share where you should be feeling each exercise, whether it's a stretch or a strengthening exercise, is because it might look different for each one of us, and that's fine as long as you're feeling it in the right muscle groups. So often Someone will ask me, Dr. Gretchen, am I doing this stretch correctly? And my response is, where do you feel it? Because even if they look so different than me or than you, if they're feeling it in the right area, then they're doing it correctly. So we don't always shoot for looking identical. Rarely do we shoot for looking the same. It's all about where you should be feeling it. All right, when you're ready, lower that leg down. The final stretch I want to do is actually a core stretch. Even though it wasn't a core focused class today, our core works with every movement that we do. So we're just going to have a nice twist. So right hand goes on the outside of your left thigh. Left hand turns and grabs something behind you to help you twist and rotate. So your arms are doing the work here. Your belly muscles should be relaxed. Keep breathing. When you're ready, slowly release that and turn the other way. Left hand is on the outside of your right thigh. Right hand comes somewhere behind you to twist. And come back to the center. Deep breath. Shake everything out. I'm going to come up closer to the screen if you guys have any questions. If there's any other stretches that you feel you want to do right now, absolutely go for it. Stretching is always encouraged.